All right, welcome. This is Expedition STEM. We're here at Greensboro College, and we are here for the weekend and specifically for the NASA International Space Apps Challenge. I'm here with Lisha and Deirdre. And so can you describe what the International Space Apps Challenge is?
Sure. It's a hackathon that is put on by NASA every year. They present a number of different challenges in different category areas like earth science, technology, robotics, journey to Mars, and different locations in cities all over the world and on the International Space Station work on those challenges together. You can work on them in teams in your specific location, or you can build a team that goes across locations and across the world in order to solve some of those problems.
Physically or electronically, right?
Physically or electronically.
Yeah.
There's one of the great things about this, a lot of people when they think of hackathons, they think of just, apps. But this is one of those hackathons where you can work on software projects, you can do simulations. There's a lot of open data that becomes available. And so you can do all sorts of data science using the open data. There are hardware challenges, so you can, get happy with a soldering iron, which is always great.
Yeah, I brought mine, so we'll see.
Yeah, and like this one, there's even basically they call it an origami challenge, and it's a hardware challenge, but you can prototype with paper, and
right.
So we've actually got a bunch of literally origami paper and popsicle sticks for working on that today.
Awesome. Deirdre, what are you looking forward to today?
I'm looking forward to seeing what everybody comes up with. Last year we had a couple really cool projects, one that actually made it into international judging and was part of the People's Choice voting process, and so that was really exciting. And so I'm really excited to see what Greensboro College Space Apps can go ahead and produce this year. And we have some pretty cool teams. It looks like some of the projects are going to be really exciting, and I can't wait to see what we come up with.
What type of awards can people win?
So if you win the whole thing, right, you win Space Apps globally, you actually get to attend a launch down in Florida.
Wow.
So that's the big prize. Here we've got a number of shirts and cups and gift cards and stuff like that, smaller prizes. Plus IBM has sponsored with Space Apps, so you can have access to some of their storage. A couple other companies have partnered with NASA to have prizes and stuff like that, so we have those available as well.
Okay. And how many people are attending today?
So we have 15 people registered for the adults, and we have an unknown number of children coming to run around and design sports you can play in space.
Yeah, can you? So there's going to be a kids apps challenge. Is that similar to the adult challenge? It's just they're just doing it for kids or something? Or?
So what we do? So the kids stuff is sort of unofficial. The International Space Apps Challenge loves it when we do kids ones, but they don't organize it. They don't tell us how to do it. So the way that we've been doing it here in Greensboro is that each year we do a short few hours where we pick one challenge and work on it. Last year we came out here and we set off mini rockets using matches. So
cool.
we had matchbox rockets, which was really fun. It took a while for us to figure out how to make them shoot, but then they did, and that was awesome. This year, we're taking the challenge regarding creating sports that you can play in space on the way to Mars or in the International Space Station to keep yourself physically fit and also to keep from being bored.
Awesome.
Right? So it's a great way for us to talk with the kids about microgravity and the health issues around being weightless. We've got a video on how you poop in space, because that's important. Every 6 to 13-year-old needs to know that, right? And then we're gonna let them run around here and invent sports.
That's cool. Yeah, that's one of the great things about STEM is getting the youth involved by fun activity, and then like, just kidding, hey, you're doing science, like, and then
it's science.
Yeah, and they might get interested in it and like pursue it later, and yeah, it's definitely a great idea to do that separate kids things to get everyone involved.
I never understand when I talk to somebody about STEM projects or about hackathons, especially about the International Space Apps Challenge, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not into that." I'm like, "How can you not be into science? Science is
everything."
Yeah, science is everything. And I think a big reason for that is that when I was a kid, my dad used to take me around with a pocket microscope and show me the bugs on things, and he would take me into the garage to build stuff, and at 6 I knew what a hammer was, and by 10 I knew how to use a soldering iron.
Wow.
So I think that kids need a lot more of that kind of exposure,
right,
so that they won't be grown-ups going, "Oh, why would I want to do that?" They'll know you gotta. It's just fun.
And Deirdre, what would you say about someone who might be interested in like the Space Apps Challenge, but they're like, because a lot of this is like app based. What if they don't know how to code, and what if they say, I can't do that?
So I can't code. Let's start with that. I can't code. I don't write code. I'm not a coder, but I have ideas. I have really creative ideas that, like last year, we had a great bunch of coders, but they were really hyper focused on the coding, and I was like, oh no, you've got to think like this. You've got to think this broad based, outside the box, beyond just what's there. So we need more non-coders. I mean, we need people, and not all the challenges are coding. Right. So there's the origami one where you don't need to be a coder to figure out how to make things smaller and be able to get bigger later.
Right.
You don't need to be coding for that. There's a really cool asteroid mining challenge, and we were talking last night, and it's like you don't need to code to figure out how you would capture an asteroid and work with that physical space. So coding is important, and there's some really cool app challenges, but there's a lot of not app challenges. So you totally don't need to be a coder to take an active part in space apps. And that's part of the reason why we want kids to get involved as well, because a lot of people hear it's a hackathon and they think coding, but when kids are there, they're learning this other stuff, but they're not coding either. So there's clearly challenges at Space Apps for the non-coders.
Right.
And to work in teams with coders. Maybe you have a really cool idea, you don't know how to code. There's a coder that needs a really cool idea. We pair you together. It's a match made in heaven. You come up with something awesome.
Yeah.
So.
And if people are like good artists, they can design something or
Yep. Yeah, that was one thing with one of last year's challenges. What we needed was kids to make artwork so we could prototype how you would get kids' artwork up. And so we got a bunch of kids together to do artwork, and they're not coders.
Right.
Yeah.
And a few years ago at the Glasgow Space Apps Challenge, I had a designer that I dragged to the event kicking and screaming. And after we had done the pitches, she was like, "There's really nothing for me to do." I was just like, "Patience. We're gonna publicize it that we have a designer who needs projects." And as soon as I put it up on Twitter and put it up on the hack pads, she was just inundated with requests.
Yeah.
She ended up working on projects in 7 different countries.
Wow.
And came away just like, wow, this is the most amazing thing.
Awesome. All right, well, we're going to go inside and we're going to check out the teams and see maybe what kind of stuff they're working on and follow this event. So
Wonderful.
Thank you for stopping by, and we'll see you inside.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks.